Good morning. So, as promised, I am back. I'm just going to take a seat. Sorry if the sound isn't fantastic, but I don't know where I've put all the microphones and things that I used to use last year now. So, Happy New Year, by the way. Hope you all had a lovely Christmas and New Year. We got that lovely tummy bug that had been going around from Boxing Day. So, yeah, we actually lost weight over Christmas, which is a bonus. As promised, I said I would come back in the new year. Obviously, my videos aren't going to contain so much of the boys. I can't say that they're not going to be in it because they follow their own agenda. So if they decide to come sit with me, be in the shot, that's up to them. But I'm not going to physically follow them around to put them on screen. So the reason as to why I did come off middle of last year was because I was informed of some videos, especially ones involving nappies, pull-ups, diapers, where people were using images of my children in those videos, even though my children were fully dressed, and making inappropriate comments, suggestions as what they could do, particularly in terms of Mason, as he's non-verbal, what they could do to him with him being non-verbal. So as you would expect, that completely freaked me out. Disgusting. Got Jake to remove all of the videos. So even though nothing in my content was inappropriate, there's some disgusting people out there which turned it into something that was. And I get that, anyone that puts anything out there, you're going to have people that can take something innocent and twist it into make it something disgusting. But from a page where I've set up to help people in my situation, where we're special needs, we want to know what services are out there, offering support. I'm not getting paid to do this. I thought it was diabolical. So I came off, gave myself a break. In that time when we were off, you might notice some changes around me. People that have followed me from day one, we had our extension done on our house. So we had the extension done to help to be able to future-proof it for the boys. So in terms of, we don't want to, when they're older, to have to put them into care when they outgrow the house, or, we don't have the appropriate spaces to be able to care for them. So as you can see from around me, this was the old kind of carport / driveway. It's now our new kitchen. So the idea was we wanted the island because the boys follow me everywhere, particularly when there's food involved. And it's quite sweet. So come dinner time, they will sit themselves at the island. I'll be cooking their dinner. They can eat whilst I'm prepping, things like that. So it's a nice space because you have to think, yes, they're children now, but they're going to be adults. So when they're adults, our kitchen before was tiny. I will show you it because it's now the shower room. You could barely swing a cat in it. So when they all decided to be in the room with me, I couldn't turn around. There was no workspace, nothing. So we also have like a snug area put in. Bonnie, obviously, people that have followed from day one will know Bonnie. There she is in a designated place. It's just an area, again, where if it's too overwhelming in the living room, the boys can come. There's another telly here. Well, to be quite honest with you, it's where me and Jake spend most of the time because, as you would have known, Bruno, the middle child, pretty much owns any device in this house. So he's currently in the living room now watching his absolute rubbish on YouTube. And if you take that away from him, he tries to kill you. So this is our kind of space to come and be away from that rubbish of the actual rubbish that he does watch on there. This is utility room. Not finished, no flooring. There's got to be shelving put up. So we haven't done it just for the fact of, it's luxury, I wanted a utility room. Anyone that's got special needs kids, or probably kids in general, will know washing machines and tumble dryers are an amazing sensory toy for them. So the issue is the locks are still on it. I was having to lock everything, all the drawer compartments on there, because Gray in particular would come, turn all the settings off, open the drawer, try and open the door, the kitchen would be flooded. So with everything being in here, I can just shut the door and it's away. Also, we've got all the medicines because the boys are on a lot of medicines, lots of medication. They're all locked away in there as well. So they're out of the reach of little hands. Because although we did have those magnetic locks on our previous kitchen cupboards, these boys are not silly. Some may believe that they can be. they learnt pretty quickly how to get in there. So they didn't last long. So if you can imagine where I'm standing now, this would have been our old downstairs toilet, which is now the entrance to the new kitchen. And this would have been half, this room in here, of what the original kitchen was, which we've turned, again, it's not finished in here, it's just a mess. It's what we're calling the boot room. It's just coats, school bags, school shoes, all shoes in there, locked out of the way, because before they were just chucked under the stairs. You couldn't get them out whenever you wanted to. You can hear a Grayson screeching in the background. So what was our original kitchen is now what has been turned into the shower room for the boys. So we needed the shower room for the boys because obviously all three are in pull-ups. As they get older, my eldest is going to be 12 this year. Sometimes we need to shower down. So rather than me trying to carry a 12-year-old who's pretty much almost the same height as me up the stairs was breaking my back. So this just enables us, again, it's not finished, put the boys in here. It's got a walk-in shower cubicle. It's got the toilet for when if they ever decide to be toilet trained. Obviously standard basin. But it just enables us to be able to put them in, shower them down. It's more hygienic. It's a nice big space. Thankfully, my dad was a plumber, retired now. So he actually did all of the work in here for us. So yeah, he spent a good few months, probably again, I want to say probably more from August, because we had to wait for this kitchen to be ripped out before it could be transformed. But we still need to finish it off. So as you can see, all the pipe work, so that's got to be boxed in. I want to do that, the panelling here. And I've got some like funny prints to go on the wall. My original dinosaur one. So yeah, it's basically the boys' bathroom. Come on, Bonnie. Good girl. Princess Bonnie's never left out. So as you know, well, new followers won't know. Bonnie, she'll be 3 this year. She's my dog. She helps with my anxiety. She gets me out of the house, etc. But she's fantastic for Bruno. Bruno's very much an animal lover. When Bruno gets overwhelmed, he'll go and cuddle Bonnie. She'll also go and find him out. But it's also times where she needs a break because he can be very overwhelming, let's say. So we created what was the understair shoe cupboard into Bonnie's bedroom. So we basically, well, I say we. What are you barking at? She barks at her own shadow. Bonnie, there's nothing there. Stop. Bonnie, come. Bonnie, nothing there. You're fine. Wallpaper, of course, because every little girl needs flowery wallpaper. Behind that padded board, which actually I need to push back in, is where our boiler is. It just means that I can lock her in when Bruno's been a bit too much. It gives her her safe space. She never liked dog crates. Sorry, I dropped the camera then. Hated dog crates. So we've never really had any success with that. But she likes that because it's taller, it's not confined so much. This room, so we all need new doors on this door and the bathroom door, which we had ordered back in summer, we just haven't bothered to get yet. So they will be put on. Remember, nothing's finished yet, it takes a while. So we used to call the man room, snug, because we have that area now in the kitchen, this little room at the front, we couldn't decide what to do with, and it's actually working out really well as a boys' sensory room. So I'll just spin it around and show you. So we decided to put all of their main sensory toys. They've got a hell of a lot more that I need to get down. This was gifted to us from a friend, a school mum, who Mason goes to school, same school with her son. So obviously you've got fibre optic lights, the bubble tube, and this is a UV lamp, but we just need to do some little fiddling around to get that working again. Bear in mind, this is probably, I think her son is 15 years old. So that's quite old and still going strong, but it's absolute winner in this house. So it's quite nice because generally the curtains are drawn. So the room, we're going to continue. Is that the right word? Yeah, we're going to keep it this dark kind of charcoal colour because Bruno likes to pull the curtains and make it dark because obviously the lights show up more, and then I want to get like one of the disco light type of things in here. Not sure whether if we put the telly that was there, that's what's in the front snug room now in the kitchen. Don't know if we're going to put a telly there. Haven't made a mind up. So if not, obviously that needs repainting. And the Jake's desk computer, we're gonna kind of rejig the living room around and make some kind of office area in there, because now that we have the kitchen island, the dining table doesn't really get used. So that is redundant. All it gets used for is for Mason to chuck rubbish underneath. So yeah, that's the updates on the house. Hi Bruno. So Bruno's just taken me into the kitchen now to get snacks. So this still happens. I mean, we've just got a longer way to walk now, haven't we? You're going to get some snacks. Right, I'm just going to get snacks and I'll be back in a minute. So I just suddenly thought, actually, after I got Bruno his snack, that because obviously all of my old videos have been removed by ourselves, by the way, not from YouTube, we did that off of our own back. I just wanted to start fresh. It'd probably be quite helpful if I gave a brief rundown of the boys, who they are, their diagnosis. So if there are new followers onto this page, they will know why I set this page up. So first off, my name, Katrina, Katie, Kate, Twat, whatever you want to call me. My husband's Jake. We have 3 boys, all with special needs, on the lower end of the spectrum as well, which is quite rare, because generally you may have some that are higher functioning, but all of ours are lower functioning. We had the genetic testing done, there's no genetic abnormalities, so it's basically just out of the blue we've ended up with 3 delightfully special needs children. So starting from oldest to youngest, our eldest is Mason. He will be 12 in April. He was diagnosed when sorry, the dog's just trying to sit on me now. He was diagnosed when he was 3, I believe. It was just either just after his 3rd birthday or just before his 4th. It's all such a blur now. So he is autistic, very sensory, so his sensory processing disorder. He's completely non-verbal, never has said a word. I would almost describe him as being like selectively mute as well, because he doesn't even make that much noise. Sorry, not selectively mute, because that's when they can talk and they decide not to, isn't it? So just mute. Yeah, that's it. Sorry. Confusing all these boys. So yeah, he doesn't really make any vocalizations apart from you'll hear him humming, and he likes to tap on things like a drum. He has a lot of anxiety, so he takes medication for anxiety, which then brings out OCD behaviours. So where I just showed you he chucks things under the dining table, that's his way of tidying up. So he doesn't like things on work surfaces or what he describes as clutter. So he's very quiet. He's now at that kind of, I'd call pre-teen era, where he's mostly up in his room. He'll come down to grunt at me and maybe for food. That's it. If I call him down for dinner, he'll come down for dinner, then he'll go back up again. Or, for example, I will go call him down to change his pad, things like that. But otherwise, he's very much likes his own space. He's at secondary school now, which he is loving, because the last time I vlogged, he was still at primary school. He's in year 7 at secondary school. He's loving it. He hasn't really had a bad day there. I think it's because he's very much prefers to be in the company of adults, and as all of the children there are older than him, he looks at them as being adults, I think. So I think he'd had enough of being around small, noisy children, because he doesn't really bond with his brothers that much either. He finds them a nuisance. I've got Gray coming now. If you hear squeaking in the background, he's got the dog Squeaky Pig toy. If he comes and joins me, he joins me, like I said. She will jump at you if you've got a dog toy. Just remember that is hers. So that's a brief of Mason. Then we have Bruno, our middle child. Bruno is 9. He was 9 in November. He's 9, but he looks like a 6-year-old. He's tiny. Bruno, again, he's autistic. He'd be classed as at the severe end of the spectrum. All of them have learning difficulties. All of them are in incontinence pads, so none of them are toilet trained. Hello, sweetheart. You want to come and sit on my lap? You can't hold this, no, because you just want to. Yes, see. What were we saying? So you've confused me now. No disrespect to my other 2 boys. He is what I would class as the slightly higher functioning, more intelligent child. I would describe it maybe as pre-verbal. So he will mimic sounds that you make. So like, for example, I'll say to him, say hello, and he'll say like, hello. things like that. So he makes it, doesn't say the word correctly. He just says it in kind of the same tone and like same amount of syllables, if that makes sense. He has a lot of obsessions. So he's obsessed with Disney, Finding Nemo in particular. His latest fascination is to get everyone in his class to draw pictures of fish. I have so many pictures of fish in my house, it's ridiculous. He is what I call my angry elf. So he is, I think because he has a lot of pent up frustration, because he knows what so I'm just watching my child try to break into the fridge. Look. Gray, it's a child, look. He's trying to get Pepsi out. That child doesn't need it. You're not having Pepsi, no. He gets so frustrated because he's got a lot in here that he wants to say, but he can't say it. And that's when he gets very angry. He has been known to put teachers in hospital. They've required stitches because he will bite. He gets frustrated to the point where he sees red and he can't bring himself down. Bonnie, can we not do that or go do it in the living room? Now, Bonnie. Thanks, Nan and Grandad, for the squeaky pig. Then we have our delightful Grayson, who I believe is probably going to come and join me now. Are you going to come here or are you going to stay there and be annoying? So Grayson is 7. He's my baby. Again, he has autism. He is non-verbal, never said a word. He makes a lot of noises. He's very hyperactive, loves to scream. Will he talk? I don't know. He may do, he may not. Bruno didn't start saying any words until he was about 7. So he is 7, so let's see. We don't know. Never say never. Grayson also has ADHD. Anyone that's ever worked or knows Gray knows just how exhausting he can be. I always say that if he was typical, he would be the kind of child that would be in Jackass, because he would be jumping off the buildings, all sorts, because he's a complete adrenaline junkie. I'm always watching him because he's always up to trouble. He is a little pocket rocket. He is quite possibly the happiest child. He doesn't get angry. He doesn't ever hurt people. He's just very hyper. And he's going to bring me a glass now to tell me that he wants to have some Pepsi. I don't think you need Pepsi, do you? No Pepsi. You can have a juice, no Pepsi. If Mummy has a Pepsi at lunchtime, I'll leave you a mouthful. You can have some then. That's new. Oh, wow. Bizarre. So yeah, that's the basics of them, but I will go through more things as I do more vlogs because there's so much to cover on them, to be honest. But what I've got to do today is finish off just doing some little bits around where Jake put the skirting board up in the kitchen the other night. So I've got to do some filling. The boys go back to school tomorrow after Christmas break. I have cut their hair this morning, but I've got to sort their school bags out. I've got to go food shopping later for school stuff. I'm now watching him just swing the cupboards open. This is what he does. If I'm preoccupied, he tries to be naughty to know I'll go to him. But yeah, so I'm going to get on and just stop Gray from destroying my house, and then I will be back in a bit. I realise it's the next day. I didn't quite get back to filming yesterday. After I'd sorted the boys' school bits out, had to go food shopping, did all bits of DIY in the house that needed doing in the kitchen. Honestly, couldn't be bothered again. So I'm starting off again from today. So today is Wednesday. The boys have gone back to school today. I'm really cut up about that. But what I thought I'd show you, very random, but as I did in previous posts, I kind of showed you things on how I do to keep my, to keep my house kind of normal from the everyday messes that having 3 autistic, severely special needs kids, the messes they make can be quite extreme. So as we know, they are all in pads, and at least 2 of them have gone through that whole smearing phase, which if you are a special needs parent, you'll be very familiar with. It's very sensory based. They do a poo, they don't let you know they've done a poo. They generally hide somewhere in the house. Usually my kids, it's generally their bedrooms, and they'll rub their poo into the carpet and the walls. It doesn't take much imagination to guess how messy that can be. We've even had to scrape it off the ceilings before. It's quite lovely. So what I thought I'd show you is, because you'd have known from previous posts, if you were an avid follower, that I have a rug doctor, and my rug doctor has been quite abused over the years. But I've come across recently, and you can tell I'm getting old. I'm just going to show you because I'm very excited. I got a little shark cleaner. So it's one of these stain striker, little mini ones. And the reason that I like this is because this is the pet version. It comes with this head attachment. So what this means is when my kids do decide to smear on the floor, you simply put that head on instead of this main one here. There are a couple more heads. And instead of the poo going all the way through the machine, disgusting, you can never really sterilize that, it catches it in this compartment here so it doesn't get sucked through the machine. So it's much more hygienic. So for fellow parents like myself that have the troubles of having to clear up poo or wee, Gray likes to pee on the floor, particularly if you've got green carpet. He had a green rug at one point, no longer, absolutely disgusting. It's more hygienic because I can just catch it in this little compartment here, rinse it away. I've not got to worry about my machine getting blocked up. So yeah, so I'm going to just, although I've got no poo stains on the floors at the minute, I've got lots of stains where particularly Mr. Grayson likes to have drinks and spits them out everywhere. Again, sensory based, he likes to spit stuff on the floor. So I'm going to clean some bits off with this. Jake's off today, he's in the garden. You may or may not know I've got chickens, -1 now, I've only got 3 left, that's a whole nother story. He's sorting them out. So while he's doing that, I'm just going to scrub the stains off, and I promise you I'll be back this time. Sorry, I have come back just later than expected because, well, I got distracted. In the meantime, sorted the chickens out, Jake dyed my hair. Boys are home from school, had good first days back. Boys have just had dinner. Mason refused his dinner, so I'm making Mason a second dinner, which consists of just plain boring spaghetti. If he likes it, he can have it. So yeah, that's it for now. And I will see you in maybe a week or so, if not a bit longer, for another one.